Dissolution. Mixtures and their separation. Water is called a universal solvent because it can dissolve a multitude of substances. But what is dissolution? To better understand this phenomenon, we will use 3 glasses of water. In the first glass, we will pour a teaspoon of sugar, in the second, a teaspoon of coarse salt, and in the third, a few grains of corn. And now, let's observe what happens in each situation. We mix the water in the first glass a few times and… surprise! The sugar crystals are gone. In fact, they are not really gone, and the sweet taste of the mixture in the glass can prove it. Since sugar is soluble in water, it has broken down into very small particles that can no longer be seen with the naked eye. We say that the sugar has dissolved in the water and we have obtained a homogeneous mixture, that is, a uniform composition of water and sugar. Moving on to the second glass, we can see the coarse salt on its bottom. Does this mean that salt is not soluble in water? We can easily check by tasting the mixture. It's salty, so the salt has started to dissolve in the water. Now, we're going to mix vigorously a few times. The salt crystals have shrunk because by stirring the mixture, we have accelerated the interaction between the salt particles and the water particles. But the mixture is not yet homogeneous. To speed up the dissolution, we can heat the water. Warm water has fast-moving particles that come into contact with salt particles much more frequently, shrinking and dissolving them. Most solids dissolve faster in warm water than in cold water. Thus, we will again obtain a homogeneous mixture that is a salty solution. Fine salt dissolves more easily in water because smaller solid particles dissolve faster than larger ones. In homogeneous mixtures, the particles of the 2 substances are mixed so well that they cannot be separated by hand. Think about it. If you oversalted your food, can you get some of the salt out of it? To separate the salt or sugar, we can heat the solution until the water evaporates completely. Let us now observe the third glass. The corn kernels in the water stayed the same. They didn't dissolve. We say that they are insoluble in water. Corn kernels and water form an inhomogeneous mixture. In inhomogeneous mixtures, the substances can be easily distinguished and separated by hand. To separate a solid from a liquid, we let it settle to the bottom of the vessel. This method is called settling. If we use a filter to separate the substances of an inhomogeneous mixture, the process is called filtration. What process do you use to separate the sand from the water?